We're happy to have Nicola Beer here in our office today, General Secretary of the Free Democratic Party. Thanks for being here. We would like to talk to you about the role the Chancellor played in the failed negotiations for a Jamaica coalition. What was her role? One would expect such an untrialed attempt to bring three parties, or actually four parties, together to have a common vision. What was the vision the Chancellor introduced?
Chancellor Merkel is a really very experienced negotiator, but she is more moderating such very different partners. We were in those negotiations, and so she didn't think, in my point of view, she didn't think that she has the role to give the vision and then to describe the way to join the vision, but more to moderate and to try to balance all the differences, all the problems in between the partners, to find out something which is in common. And so this was maybe also a little part of the problem, because there are often positions so contrary to another that it's not possible to overframe with some words or some compromise. You have to decide yes or no. Are you turning right or left?
Was it a bit like trying to assemble a puzzle without knowing what the bigger picture is supposed to be of that puzzle? Was it like that?
Yeah, everybody had his little puzzle tiles, and then let us see if this goes together. The Free Democratic Party would have been preferred to have the frame first, to have the aim where we want to lead this republic, this country, in a 5 years or 10-year period, and then to define the way, the principles, and especially the values, how to go there.
Yeah, how did you perceive the position of the Union? Were they united, or were there also divergencies within this bloc, especially in areas that were important to you as the Free Democratic Party?
I mean, there are two different parties, so they have also different opinions, or let's say different nuances in some of the topics. But this can also help in the discussion to come to new aspects and to have a new result in that. But in the end, I have the impression that those discussions also with the Free Democratic Party and the Green Party led them more together than they were in the beginning of the negotiations.
Was Merkel's bloc more on your side or more on the side of the Greens?
Depends on the topic we discussed. But when you are going through the 61 pages of paper which we pointed out, then there is maybe 2/3 common position of the Christian Union and the Free Democratic Party, and against a proposition of the Green Party.
The FDP had a very clear opinion before the September 24 election in areas such as risk sharing in the euro area, allowing pots of money to be created to funnel funds into European Union countries. How willing was Chancellor Merkel to accommodate the Green Party demands, especially in these two areas?
And this was part of the struggle in the last night and of our problems to sign such a treaty, because for us it's clear we want stability within the Eurozone, we want stability in the financial budgets in the member state, and so we cannot give our hand to a new financial facility which would all the regularity system we created to stabilize European Union sprang up. And so this was first position common with Christian Union and Free Democratic parties, and then the Chancellor tried to accommodate the Green Party, which would be at the end, position Free Democratic Party couldn't share.
Do you think if it hadn't been for your resistance, do you think that Merkel would have allowed the creation of an additional financial facility for the Eurozone, for example?
Yes, it seems so. It was on the way. It was a very bloomy phrase to cover the problem in the way not to be pushed to decide now. And we wanted this decision. We wanted to know, is it for, is it against? Because you cannot imagine how a finance minister could go to Brussels and negotiate something for the German government if this decision is not taken.
Mm-hmm. Now it looks like the FDP will not be in government. That's probably the most likely scenario. How do you see your party's future role? I mean, you do want to influence the decision-making process in Germany, obviously, but how are you going to do this now?
We will do a really good parliamentary job now. We have 80 members of parliament, 80 new chances to get through with our topics, with our propositions, with our aims. We will try to sum up more and more members, more and more voters for our ideas, and to modernize this country by a kind of movement which for the moment doesn't have majority, but maybe can get more and more influence in Germany.
Do you see that? I mean, it looks right now as if there will be a rerun of the Grand Coalition. The SPD is probably caving at a very, at a snail's pace, moving towards a rerun of the Grand Coalition. But if that doesn't happen, if there is a minority government, what is the FDP's position? What will it do and what will it not do?
We will negotiate projects which set a new politic in the Euro politics, or also in, for example, education politics, or for the question we really have to decide on how to manage migration. So we can give their votes, as we did in the last plenary session for the decision about the Ireland questions and the Ireland credits to pay back, which wouldn't be taken without the Free Democratic Party in the parliament, because the Social Democratic Party didn't give their votes for the decision of their Social Democratic ministers in the government for the moment. So we will really be on constructive part in this parliament, but we will tend to put through our propositions, and maybe we can find different majorities for different propositions.
Mm-hmm. What is your expectation? I mean, the whole world is looking pretty anxiously at Germany at the moment, because it's just not sure. It's an important country. It's a big country in Europe. People outside of this country often don't know what they can expect. And do you have a good feeling for, depending of course on your political views, but do you think that Germany will maintain its stability?
Yes, Germany will maintain stability, whether going in new elections or whether searching for a minority government, or whether in a big coalition, Social Democrats and Christian Union. I mean, you can look at the DAX, who did not really react on those crises, but on other questions. There is a big stability in this country. The economics does well. We have a good situation for our jobs. So this is now the role of the parliament. We can discuss without having a government putting through their ideas, and in the same time there is enough time to find out for a new government, which is at the end the better solution, to have a stable government. But other countries within and outside the European Union know those processes for some months. We now are for some weeks. I think we have the time to talk it out.